Joining us is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris. Dr. Harris, thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.
There was a little confusion about whether churches should reopen. What's your recommendation?
Yes, so churches are certainly allowed to meet. Churches had never been prevented from meeting before, but there was a limit on non-work gatherings that said that groups of 10 or more should not meet in the same place, and obviously that did apply to churches. Under the new health orders, which will take effect starting this Monday, there is no limit on the number of people who can gather, although we do want people to maintain 6-foot different distances between people of different households. We certainly understand the importance of churches getting together and people getting back to worship, and we understand the necessity of that. And at the same time, we want to make sure that we're protecting our most vulnerable people, particularly our seniors, and we want to make sure that they follow proper social distancing guidelines. Okay,
now are we seeing the curve flatten?
I think we are still wish we had better numbers than we have right now. We've seen some improvement recently, although over the past few days the numbers have increased, and so I don't want to suggest that things are a lot better out there. We're not out of the woods yet, and we have some improving to do. At the same time, as the economy does begin to reopen, our job in public health is just to make sure that people stay informed, that they understand the way to protect themselves, and particularly to protect those people with chronic health conditions or those seniors that they're around, because those are really the people who are going to be most at risk as people get back to work and get out in public again.
Okay, give us, if you will, a scorecard on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the best job. How has the state done with the health orders that have been implemented?
Well, I think it's probably a little different in different parts of the state. There's some places in the state that are at a 10, and there's some places that are definitely not at a 10. I think, generally speaking, I've been very pleased at the way Alabamians have really tried very hard to do the right thing. Sometimes they maybe lack the information, or we haven't communicated to them exactly what they need to do. But in most cases, I think people have complied with health orders. They've done their best to protect people. They've done their best to stay home as much as they can. And so we're very pleased that people have done that. And I think that's part of the reason that we feel like opening a few additional things are a reasonable step. And we encourage people to keep doing the right thing.
All right, Dr. Harris, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.